As a driven dentist, you see the world differently. Where some see scarcity, you see abundance. When others want to give up, you keep going. You're building an amazing life of significance. That means you can't rely on ordinary advice from ordinary advisors to get to your goals. You want advice that's going to help maximize your net worth so you can take even better care of the people you love, the causes you care about, and make your dent in the universe. But the fact is, this advice remains hidden because relatively few professionals are well versed in them, and the extremely affluent don't care to let you know about them. Join us as we pull back the curtain to reveal the often hidden advice and strategies used by today's most successful individuals and families. Welcome to Dental Wealth Nation. Here's your host, Tim McNealy.
Hey, welcome everyone. I am so excited that you are here today because we're going to be talking about business succession. That's right, business succession for your legacy and specifically for family-owned, founder-owned dental practices. What are your options? What can you do? How can you make the best choices so that no matter what life throws at you, you can thrive? Well, let's get in and get started. And, when it comes to, really thinking about family business succession, an overview for you and the people you love, this is so important. It gets overlooked so often, but really the lack of a solid succession plan, it can result in family conflict that could hurt your company and your legacy. If the decision for you is to keep your dental enterprise in the hands of your family, then you really want to consider succession planning. And the other thing is many times business owners of family-run dental enterprises, they do want to create, and you may want to create, a dynasty involving the company that you've founded, that you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into. And today we're going to help you do that, right? You know firsthand, if you've grown a family business, if you've done it over time, then there's a good chance you may have a son or a daughter or someone else in the family that you'd like to take over the company at some point or, down the corner when you're ready to move on. But are you and your business, is the future of your business prepared for that transition? And is it set up for success? And so often I see dental entrepreneurs who do want to transfer the ownership of their company, of their practice, but they're just not ready to. And this issue is really one of increasing importance because I believe that transferring a family-owned business and that entity to the next generation is really going to become a much larger phenomenon over the next couple of years, just because of the tremendous amount of private wealth that has been created and will be continued to created through business ownership. And by you understanding the different approaches that can be taken, whether you're a founder or an inheritor, you can discern some opportunities and along with that, some potential complications to really improve your transition when that day finally arrives and when it's time for you to move on. And so, right, why do you want to look at some reasons for succession planning? And it really comes back to, if you have that desire to just smartly and really efficiently pass the baton on to the next generation of that family dental enterprise you've created, succession planning, it is essential. The reason, though, may surprise you. So a lot of times you may think it has to do with lowering taxes or some other kind of financial concern. And those are certainly big issues that you should consider. But really, one of the biggest reasons and considerations we see is the lack of a plan can lead to family conflicts down the road. And these conflicts can cause a lot of personal and financial complications that can really result in the desolation of your family enterprise. Let me just give you one quick example. There's a theater I grew up in and, loved going there, seeing family plays. I've been going literally my whole life. Like I was going there before I was born. Family run enterprise. It was started by the grandparents. The son took it over and the son married a beautiful woman, and lo and behold, many years later, they get divorced. And in the divorce, I don't know the terms of the settlement. I'm just telling you what I see in the news. So take it, I'm reading behind the lines here, but we know she married into the family, and some way, somehow, through this divorce process, she was able to get the theater, and she has sold that theater. And in that process, that family legacy, it's gone. What the grandparents worked so hard for, what the parents worked so hard for, what the son worked so hard for is gone. And that's the reason you want to consider succession planning, is really because of those conflicts that can arise in the process. And right, massive, massive potential for family conflict. Anytime there's money involved, you've got that possibility. And in fact, this is what the research shows. And if you want a copy of this report, I'm happy to send it to you. Just make a comment down below saying, hey, Tim, send me that report. Send me the report on family businesses. And when we look at the potential for, family conflict within a business, the numbers are just absolutely staggering, and they're shocking. We find that inheritors of a family business, right, about 68% of the time, there's some conflict going on. And that may be something you want to avoid, right? 68.5% of people who inherit a family business, there's conflict going on. And I don't want that to happen to you. And how often are those conflicts severe? Well, 47% of the time, they find that there are severe conflicts within the family. And once again, this is what we want to help you avoid. And that's really the potential, like I said, for family conflicts popping up. But the question then becomes, do you need a succession plan? Is this for you? Is this something you should consider? Well, the first consideration is you got to have some conversations with your family around that family enterprise that you built. And with respect to your family dental enterprise, some of the questions that you may want to consider are things like, does it make sense to continue the business as a family business? Or is it smarter to sell the company now because perhaps it has enough significant value? Or are the potential inheritors, the people who will take over the family business, are they up to the task of running and managing the company? And if not, what are the steps that are required to ensure the continuity of that family business? And then lastly, what will the arrangements between equity inheritors who work in the business versus those who choose not to work in the business, right? How's that piece going to work out for you? So by thinking through just some of those high level things, you can start making better decisions. And what's more is, once again, this comes back to the research and what we see time and time again, is that founders are very interested. You most likely are very interested in that family dynasty. In fact, we find 32.1% of founders are interested in leaving that family dynasty. People who inherit a business, about 49.1% of you are very interested in leaving that family dynasty. So super, super important, something to consider, because you don't want your lifetime of hard work to be destroyed. You really want that business succession planning to go through in the way that you want. And so in conclusion, what are some takeaways? What are some things you can do right now? Well, not every single family-run business needs a plan to pass it on. An outright sale may be the appropriate thing. But if you do have the intentions of passing on a legacy, of leaving that business to future generations, or even thinking about that possibility, then you really want to start diving in and looking at, what kind of succession plan makes sense for you. And I'll find, in my experience, the family businesses that really do survive and thrive are really the ones where the founders have taken steps to take that succession planning seriously, and they've made it a priority. So once again, to help you out, to help you make better decisions, if you want to grab a copy of this report, if you want to know family business succession, an overview, what you can do, happy to send you that report. And I'll post this down below, we've got a whole Family Fortunes report put together for you. And we've got a book called Family Fortunes. And in Family Fortunes, we go through how ultra wealthy families are passing on that legacy to their future generations. And more importantly, how you can too. I'm so glad you were here today, and really, really glad you're able to tune in. I see Steve Sisler here. Stevie, so great to have you. He's someone who can help family legacies thrive also. And man, what a joy it is to do this, share this knowledge with you. And as I end every episode, remember, it's not just enough to listen to these things and hear these things. You got to take action. And if you do take action, if you're thinking about doing that succession planning, leaving your business to a future generation, and you take some steps today, if you grab a copy of Family Fortunes, if you get the report, if you start having conversations with your family and with your advisors, you're going to be able to thrive no matter what life throws at you, because you've got a plan, you've got a process, and you're going to be okay. I'm Tim McNealy. So glad to have you here on Dental Wealth Nation. Until next time, get out there and make it a great day.
You've been listening to Dental Wealth Nation. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from the show. Join us next time as we pull back the curtain to reveal the often hidden advice and strategies used by today's most successful individuals and families, and help maximize your net worth so you can take even better care of the people you love. Till next time, make sure to hit the website at dentalwealthnation.com.